So this is my current TBR list. If you guys don't know what TBR means, it means to be read. Actually, most of the books on here on this shelf I haven't read yet, but these are the ones that I'm prioritizing that I want to get through. We've got some business books, personal development books, financial books, woo-woo books, memoirs. We've got a bunch of nonfiction books here that are on my to be read list, or my TBR list. And I wanted to share them with you guys. I wanted to go through all the books and kind of tell you why I want to read them and see if any of you guys have read them, so you guys can give me like a little sneak peek of what to expect. But if you guys are in the market to find a new book to read, I will link all of these books down below in my Amazon storefront so you guys can check them out for yourselves. I do want to say though, if you guys have the opportunity to purchase a book from your local bookstore, then definitely do that before you go through Amazon. But I know that it is a lot easier and sometimes cheaper to do it that way, so do whatever works for you. But yeah, let's get into my TBR list. First on my list is this book right here. It's called Swipe Up for More. I actually started listening to the audio version of this, which is funny because I have the physical copy of it right here. But this book is by Stephanie McNeil, and it talks all about the reality of being an influencer. Just from what I have read so far, she goes through the secret lives of these like really popular influencers, specifically in like Mormon culture. I hate calling myself an influencer, but the truth is we are all influencers in some capacity. And so it's just interesting to see how people portray themselves online versus like what the realities are. It kind of makes me feel better when I don't look super flashy as an influencer, because then I know I'm actually being like authentic and real, and I don't have to own up to all of these like fake, I don't know, personas that people create online. But anyway, I'm really excited to read this. It's not that long, so I feel like I should be able to get through it quick, especially if I am listening to the audio version. It is 249 pages, so like honestly, if I really wanted to try, I could probably read this in like a couple days. One day if I had a day off, but what are those? Anyway, I'm excited about this. If you guys have read any of these books before, please let me know down below, and I want to hear your thoughts as well. All right, next on this list is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This book has been recommended to me by so many people, including my therapist, and I've read other books by this author. Actually, I listened to audio versions of his books, and they've been very like kind of slap your face truthful and honest about like kind of what I'm going through in my spiritual journey. This one I think is hard for me to get through. I don't know if you can tell, but I kind of started reading it and tabbing some pages that I liked. It's just hard because there's a lot of mindset changes that I'm gonna have to go through when I read this book. There's gonna be a lot that's uncovered in my personal journey, in my personal self, and unhidden, and like just lessons that I'm gonna have to learn. So this book really scares me, but I know that once I get through it, I'm going to, I don't know, level up, I guess. But just a quick little blurb off the back. What would it mean to become supernatural? What if you could train your brain to tune into frequencies beyond our material world? Train your brain circuitry and chemistry to access transcendent levels of awareness and transform your very biology to enable profound healing. This might be woo-woo for some people, but this is right up my alley. I'm really excited to try it out again. It's my goal to get through it, but it is very dense. There's even like graphs and stuff in here. Like, it's like a whole science book. So I don't know how long this is gonna take me to get through. I might just have to like prioritize reading 10 pages a day or something like that. With these dense nonfiction books, it's a lot harder for me to get through something like this versus like one of my smutty fantasy books that I can read in like 2.2 seconds. So this is gonna be a challenge, but I know that this is gonna be worth it. I've only heard good things about this book and about this author. So yeah. This is another book that I have had for a couple years. This has literally been sitting on my bookshelf for a couple years, and I can't get into it. I think there are, again, so many lessons in this book that I need to hear, but I'm not ready to hear yet, and so I keep trying to read it and then putting it down because I'm feeling attacked, or I'm feeling like defensive against the ideas that are in this book. So this is 101 essays that will change the way you think. It's kind of similar, I think, like lessons that I'm going to be learning in both of these books. I've read all of her other books. Brianna Wiest is such a talented writer. I also follow her on Instagram, and she posts like such profound things on Instagram. So if you just want like little snippets of her work, definitely follow her on Instagram. I've only heard good things about this book. It's also super aesthetic. You've probably seen this book in like self-development girlies bags and, you know, things, but I'm really excited about this. The way that it's structured is like you could just read it one chapter a day and it's only a couple pages, and I think, again, that's another thing that I'm gonna have to do, just prioritize reading a book, like a page every now and then. And this book is just focusing on like changing your mindset. Obviously that will change the way you think. So just reading a couple of the chapters to give you an idea, like the chapter titles, so you can get an idea of what this book is about. Chapter 29, how to know you've evolved more than you give yourself credit for. Yes, please. Let's see, what else is there? Goals to set that are more about enjoying what you have than chasing what you don't. Just stab me in the heart, why don't you? I'm really excited. Like, I think that this book is so necessary. Oh my god. Okay, chapter 72 at the end of this book is called The Art of Awareness, or How to Not Completely Hate Yourself. I am in a very like deep emotional journey and like spiritual journey, self-development journey. I'm in therapy, I'm in a mentorship group. I have multiple mentors now that are kind of helping me guide me through my life. And I'm exiting, or like I'm at the tail end kind of my Saturn return, which if these are words that are like flying over your head, it's okay. But it's just like this very transformational point of my life, and I'm realizing a lot of things that like are more important to me, things that I need to let go of, changes that I need to make in my business, in my personal life, etc. And it's just a really like trying time in my life right now. The last couple of years have kind of been leading up to it, and I know this year is still I'm gonna be in the thick of it, but books like this are what's helping me get through the struggle, the actual mental struggle that life is as a 29-year-old mother and multiple business owner. It is wild. So yes, very excited about this, and I just need to do it. I just need to like sit down and read this book. I think I'm gonna prioritize both of these guys. I need to prioritize all these books, actually. I really want to read all of these books by the end of the year, but we'll see. Next on this list, I think this is a little bit lighter of a book to read, an easier one. Like, this is something I would throw in my bag when I'm going to the beach or something, and I could just read it poolside or whatever. But this is called Glossy, and it's Ambition, Beauty, and the Inside Story of Emily Weiss's Glossier. So if you guys are familiar with Glossier's makeup and skincare brand, this book is all about like how they were able to become so popular so fast. And I think I'm gonna be able to learn a lot about like marketing my business, how to run a business, how to appeal to millennials and Gen Zs and all of that. I think I'll be able to learn a lot about this. But this is by Marissa Meltzer. And yeah, I don't have too much to say about this. It is kind of just like a background story of businesses. I've been reading a lot of similar books like this. Like, I just read one about American Apparel, which is actually kind of like a culty book. But I love knowing about how businesses were able to grow the way that they did, and so I can hopefully learn from their mistakes and implement the, you know, successful stories that they've done into my own quote-unquote empire. And what a perfect segue into this next book, How to Build a Goddamn Empire. Let me step back a second. This is kind of cringy. I stared at this book for a long time at my local bookstore thinking like, I really want that book, but it's kind of cringy to have a book that says How to Build an Empire. And then I got a reading done, like a birth chart reading done on me literally this morning, right before I filmed this video. And the person who is doing my reading for me, I will link her info down below if you guys want to get a reading from her. She was absolutely amazing. I was crying the whole time because everything just resonated so much. She was just talking about how in my birth chart, I was destined to be an entrepreneur. I was destined to I have that like girl boss energy. Like, that's just who I am to my core. And that is kind of like just what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. That's why I'm so good at it. So now I feel less cringy picking up this book. The author is Ali Kriegsman, and it's just a really cute book. Like, honestly, it's pink all over it, and it has like really fun like quotes inside. This is not a book that I would like sit down and like study, I don't think. I think the formatting of it also kind of throws me off. It's not like a traditional book. It's more of like a, you pick up and take what you need, I guess. But I feel like reading this is going to be kind of cringy, but it's also going to give me more confidence in what I'm doing with my brands. This says, advice on creating your brand with high-tech smarts, elbow grease, infinite hustle, and a whole lot of heart. I don't necessarily subscribe to the hustle mentality, but I will pick and choose like what information I take from these books. And yeah, I'm excited about it. I did not stack these books in a particular way. I was just grabbing them off of my bookshelf and from wherever they were lying around the house, but they are just segueing perfectly into each other. This next one is called This Is Your Destiny. I've probably had this book for over a year now and I haven't read it. It says, using astrology to manifest your best life. I think I am a professional manifester. I have manifested every single thing I have in my life, from Charlie, my fiance, to our daughter Ryan, to my brick and mortar business, to our apartment, everything, to my friends. Everything that I have now, I've manifested and called into my life. So, and I still need help manifesting. So I'm really excited to read this. This is also another like kind of shorter book. But like one of the chapters is called Hustle with Intention. Like that is so much more aligned with this empire girl bossness that I want to have. I want to have like girl boss, manifestation, intentional entrepreneur, all of those kinds of words. I want that to be like the headlining aspects, pillars of what I'm doing. It's also just a really cute book. I feel like I'm gonna devour this once I actually start. I just have a habit of collecting books and being like, ooh, I really need to read that. That would teach me really good lessons, and then it just sits on my shelf for months or years. So I'm trying to block that out. I could potentially put myself on a book buying ban, but for my birthday, which was at the beginning of this month, I asked for a bunch of gift cards to our local bookstore, and so I have a bunch of gift cards just sitting there and I want to spend them. So maybe after I spend them, I'll put myself on a book buying ban and try to read through as many of these books as I can before I treat myself to another one. These next two books are kind of tied together. They're about finances as a woman, I believe. This one is called Rich AF. It's by Vivian Tu, The Winning Money Mindset That Will Change Your Life. And she talks to her about herself as your rich BFF. And here's the thing, I've read a lot of finance books. One of my biggest like core wounds is negative financial beliefs, bad spending habits. Sorry, if I block this, then it won't be such a bright glare on my face. But if I read a bunch of these books, like I know I have to integrate what I'm learning into my life, but I just don't do it. I tend to read a lot of the same kinds of books that are about the same topic, and I'm like, it's like the information is coming in one ear and out the other. Like I'm hearing it, but I'm not listening. And sometimes it just takes one author to say something a certain way for it to finally click in my head. That's why I have so many books about financing, about finance and about money and about spending and about business and about personal development, all the things, right? I just like learning about it and seeing what other people's perspectives on the topic are. But this one specifically, since it is by an Asian woman author, I feel like this one might resonate just a little bit more than say one written by a white woman. Not that they're bad books or anything. I think there's just a way that I'm able to connect with another Asian speaker, performer, you know, business person because of the way that we were culturally raised or whatever it is. And I know that that might not resonate with a lot of you guys, but that's my truth. So I'm just gonna lean into that. These two books too are not necessarily about like finances when it comes to business. I do have books on that as well, but this is more about like how wealthy people become wealthy. And yes, some of them are business owners, some of them invest in stocks, some of them are just really smart about their money habits. And I need that desperately. I definitely need to just make it click in my head how to manage my finances better. I have been wanting to work on this for a long time, and I've definitely grown in some ways. Like, I'm way better at managing my money now than I was 5 years ago, but there's still a lot of room for growth, and you know, there's still a lot more room in my bank account for me to make more money. So hoping that once I read these, not just read these, but read these and integrate them, then I can kind of set myself up for more success. And the same thing's happening for this. I love books like this, and that might be so cringy, but anything that's like, you're a badass boss babe, like cut the bullshit, like this one literally says, overcome the patriarchy's bullshit to master your money and build a life you love, the Financial Feminist. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is by Tori Dunlap. I don't remember if I said the author for this one. This is Vivian too. And again, all of these books will be linked in the description below if you want to check them out. But this one is also about, like, I just opened this and this is about an HYSA. I have no idea what that means. Like, I am so uneducated when it comes to finances, when it comes to stocks, when it comes to savings accounts, when it comes to like investing. It all goes over my head completely. So I'm like, when I have books like this, I feel like they are so much more relatable and so much more approachable to read, like something like this versus another book that I have on my bookshelf that I haven't read, which is called The Intelligent Investor. That book just absolutely goes over my head. It's been recommended to me so many times, but I cannot get through it. It is so dense. So this, I feel like, I don't want to say dumbs it down, but kind of dumbs it down for somebody who doesn't know anything about financial health, financial wealth, financial security, and all of those things that I desperately want but don't know anything about. So hopefully these will get me to where I need to be. I'm telling you, this stack of books is all like just perfectly leading into one another. But this one is called What Would You Do If You Weren't Afraid? Just answer me that. What would you do if you weren't afraid? So many things. So this is Creating a Meaningful Life in Uncertain Times, and it's written by Mikal. I probably saying this wrong, but Mikal Oshman, head of company culture at TikTok and former Facebook executive. So I don't fully know what to expect out of this book. I mean, it says it here, right? Like creating a meaningful life in uncertain times, but what exactly does that mean? So I'm gonna read the back really quickly. It says, packed with practical and applicable tools for both your personal and professional lives, this book empowers you to find resilience and embrace change. Learn how to thrive in your career, strengthen your relationships, and find the clarity to identify your talents and pursue your goals. So definitely on the like right path of all the other books that I'm reading. Maybe I should read this one first because I'm so scared to read the rest of the books and this will kind of help me read them. Maybe, we'll see. This one does seem a little bit dense, but it seems like it's also a lot of like storytelling. So I just saw this book when I was at, I don't know what bookstore I bought this at, but when I saw it on the shelf and it called to me, so I picked it up, and I, you know, haven't heard any reviews, didn't look up any reviews or anything. I was just like, I am very afraid. What can I learn from this book? I don't know. It says, embark on a journey of self-discovery as you learn the secrets to living a meaningful, successful, and joyful life. I want all of that. So hopefully this book will get me there. So the last book on this list, I was watching this YouTube video and I cannot think of the name off the top of my head, but I'm gonna put it right here if you guys want to go watch it. And it's talking about hiring people to kind of help you grow your business, specifically like your YouTube or your social media business or whatever it is. And they were talking with the author of this book about like what you should hire first, who you should hire, how you should hire, how it's gonna help you, overcoming obstacles from hiring people. I'm starting to hire people in my brick and mortar consignment store, and that has been a whole like obstacle that I've had to come over. But I also want to learn about bringing in more people to work in other parts of my business, whether it's like the online reselling portion, whether it's helping me create social media posts or, you know, edit YouTube videos or clean my house or whatever it is. Like I just want to add in more people to help me. And so I got the book of the author who was speaking in that YouTube video, and it's called Buy Back Your Time, Get Unstuck, Reclaim Your Freedom, and Build Your Empire. You can see the theme. Can you see how all of these books kind of relate together and how they're going to like I guess, build off of each other. I'm sure there's going to be similar points and similar stories in each of these books, but maybe if they all get compacted together and put together and shoved into my brain, that it'll click, or, you know, the right message will come through to me. But this one I'm really excited about. This is probably the most like businessy one that I have. So this may or may not relate to you if you are also looking to kind of maybe hire out. It's very scary. It's a very scary thing to think about, especially when we are like small business owners. We're very protective over our businesses and the projects that we have essentially birthed and grown and, you know, are trying to keep alive. And to even think about giving somebody else access to that, or letting go some of your responsibility to somebody who isn't as passionate or like who cares about your business as much as you do, it is so nerve-wracking. So I'm hoping that this will help me build my empire. Wait, where is it? Build my goddamn empire. These two will probably go hand in hand. But yeah, that is what I have on my current TBR list, actually, this is just my nonfiction to be read list. If you guys are ever curious about what I actually read, I post about it on my personal Instagram, which I don't think I've ever shared on here, but I posted in my highlights. So if you guys ever want to check out what I've read, I think I have highlights for the last 3 years of all the books that I've read. So if you guys want to check that out, I will link that down below as well. But yeah, let me know if any of these books resonated with you, if you guys are like, ooh, I definitely want to check that one out. And let me know if you guys have read any of these books as well. Once again, last reminder, I will link all of these down below in my Amazon storefront. However, if you have the opportunity to buy one of these books from your local small business bookstore, or even Barnes & Noble, honestly, anywhere else besides Amazon, then please do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Bye!